This is the second part of comparing CPUs, where we take a look at Intel's 4000 series integrated graphics. If you'd like to see last episode, it's right up there in the cards, and it's about turning three different Haswell processors the same core count and clock speed to see how they differ. Not that that video is completely necessary to what we're doing, it's just stating we can simulate other processors. So now we're taking a look at their graphics. I quickly looked into the specs of Intel's 4000, 4400, and 4600 series integrated graphics inside their Pentium, i3, and i5 processors. They're not only in these processors, they're also in i7s, and i3s also can carry the 4600 graphics. That's just what I use to find them. And here are the tech specs of each of the three different integrated graphics. I will have a link of my sources in the description. Comparing 4000 to 4400 and 4600, we see the die increase from 133 millimeters squared to 177 millimeters squared once you go up from 4000. TDP decreases moving to 4400 and 4600, as well as a small boost in shading units. The base clock speed from 650 MHz on the 4000 decreases to 200 MHz, and the boost of 1300 MHz is now only 1100 MHz on the 4400. This will not always mean degraded performance, however, on the 4400. And the one final step to the 4600, we see the base clock stay the same as the 4400, 200 MHz, and the boost is now 1350 MHz. All we can really do now is put this in a real-world gaming test and see how they work. We ran Tomb Raider 2013 normal settings at 720p, Shadow of Mordor lowest settings 720p, Bioshock Infinite low settings 720p, and Thief low settings at 720p. I did try to run GTA 5, however on a dual core it will not run. The benchmark will run, but the game however will not, so well, that was kind of sad. The computer specs are a Haswell dual core 3.7 GHz CPU, 16 gigs of RAM, and for the graphics we have the 4000, 4400, and 4600 integrated graphics. For Tomb Raider normal 720p, we see a perfect correlation from the 4000 to the 4400, and same with the 4400 to the 4600. You can see I took minimums and averages. The 4600 of course beats the 4400 and 4000. Even though you can see the clock speed is lower on the 4400, it's still faster than the 4000, probably from the extra shader count and the die increase in general. Shadow of Mordor lowest settings at 720p. I'm not saying these are playable frame rates, we're just testing the games themselves. We see a very similar correlation where the 4000 is crushed by the 4400 and the 4400 is kind of behind the 4600. In Bioshock Infinite we see this same kind of correlation again. And in Thief, the same correlation. So this is good. Now we know that the graphics do kind of go upwards, which is nice to know. It's better than my graphs being like this the whole time, or like the 4400 got lower than the 4000 and it gets really weird. We can see that this is accurate. At least I hope it's accurate. I hope I did my tests well enough. So I do hope this helps someone out. So next week we have, maybe I'll do the third part of this if I don't have anything else to do. And the third part will be about comparing dual core to dual core hyper-threaded to 4 cores. So we're comparing the Pentium, the i3, and the i5 head-to-head to see where the hyper-threaded will differ from the 4 cores, where the 4 cores will just destroy the 2 cores. I thought I'd mention this again. I have a straw poll saying what should I do in the description and in the comments. I'll also kind of post that there, so when you go down to ask where the straw poll is, it'll be right there in the comments as well. So you can vote between what I should do next. There will always still be tech videos. I'll still do that every Wednesday to Friday. Today's Friday, that this video is coming out, but I should have one out every Wednesday. People are seeming to going toward vlogs. We have, I think, 4 votes, 4 or 5 on vlogs right now. So I did record my very first vlog, and hopefully it didn't completely suck. You'll know if I hated it because it will either be up or not be up on Saturday. I might do vlogs on Saturdays. It depends on if that wins. 2 people voted giveaways. I think 1 person might have voted more benchmarks. I'm going to do benchmarks anyway, guys. And no one voted cat videos for some reason. I like cats.